Ang katulad natin galing sa araw din ay magkakamtan sa isang magsisikap lahat magkakanan ng ibang hinahangan manahit mong katulad na sa isang kapisilin may araw na sisikat din. Hindi pwedeng ang ipagpabilin ang batong pag-asa ay muling papanawin. Among tawag ang ako'y ating makakaktan. Pustos ang pagsisigaw, bumubuo isang pangalan. Sa isang banda may munting piling, ibig nais lang iparinig. Nais lang iparinig. Naglalawag sa walang nahanap. Ang karunungan ay siyang mas mahalaga ng ibang hinahanap. Kahit mong katulad ka sa isang kapisilin ay araw na sisikat din. Aking pilipain, aking pagpabilin, ang batong pag-asa ay muling papanawin. Among tawag na ako'y ating makakaktan. Pustos ang pagsisigaw, matutupad ang pangarap. Walang makakaharap, kahit pulos ay tumarap. Sa ibang lakas ng ating hawak. Mabilis ang ating paglawan, patunay na hinahanap. Pagkalan ko ay siyang
Halina't makinig sa akin, tamang kabalaran ang kahihinatnan natin. Bubukan sa iyong isipan, tagumpay ng tatahakin. Isang pangarap na lubos, landas na iyong patutunguhan. Pangarap na inaasam, di mapipigil ni numan. Maaabot lahat ng iyong inaasam. Sa kasipagan ng sabot, sa lakaman sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan. Peace!
Aking pilipain, aking pagpabilin,
ating tanawin,
ang batong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin.
Kinabukasan tagumpayin, pilitin mong gawin.
Pustos ang pagsisika,
Pag-asa ay yakapin. Edukasyon ang kayamanan ng kahit ninuman. Isang pangarap ang tutupad, pagsisikapan ng lahat.
pustos ang pagsisika.
Kaya mo yun, kaibigan.
Mabubuo isang pangalan.
The unseen enemy crept like a thief in the night smizing cunningly at people in their sleep, and one morning took hostage of humanity by surprise as the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread its ferocious rampage the world over. COVID 19 took the different sectors by storm, and education was no exception.
COVID-19 pandemic shocks the world. We didn't see this coming. We were caught unaware. This has created the new normal, and we have to embrace it by addressing the challenges it brings.
Determined to pursue the delivery of education amidst the COVID 19 pandemic, DepEd Region 10 launched its banner program dubbed as RX Adobe.
The Department of Education, Northern Mindanao, has crafted its learning continuity plans under the banner program RX Adobe, which stands for Region 10 Alternative Delivery of Basic Education. It underscores the alternative delivery modes under the remote teaching and learning. The 14 schools division offices of the region have crafted the learning continuity plans anchored on RX Adobe.
Always ready for education emergencies, DepEd Region 10 will continue its tradition of excellence in delivering its services anchored on the department's Sulong Edukalidad program.
As we pivot from access to quality, we have to consider a well-developed curriculum, improved learning environment, upskilled teachers, and take into consideration responsive multi-stakeholders cooperation. All these and more are under the program Sulong Edukalidad. But on top of this all, still health and safety are the number one concerns of the Department of Education, especially at this time of pandemic.
Serving with heart.
Leading
Straight from the heart of DepEd Region 10.
education must continue.
Amihan ng Mindanao, pagkahiusan ng paibabaw. BigaTEN DepEd, pagpadaan sa edukasyon, mao'y tumong nga maangkon. BigaTEN DepEd, DepEd Northern Mindanao, for the learners then and now, we're always here to serve you no matter how. Pangarap natin abutin, pagsisikapan natin kamtin, kalidad na edukasyon para sa bata, para sa bansa. Kauban, kasaligan, kadampan, kadeped. Kauban, kasaligan, kadampan, kadeped. Amihan ng Mindanao, DepEd Northern Mindanao. Ambihan ng Mindanao, pagkahiusan ng paibabaw. BigaTEN DepEd, pagpadayon sa edukasyon, mao'y tumong nga maangkon. BigaTEN DepEd, DepEd Northern Mindanao, for the learners then and now, we're always here to serve you no matter how. Pangarap natin abutin, pagsisikapan natin kamtin, kalidad na edukasyon para sa bata, para sa bansa. DepEd Northern Mindanao, amihan ng Mindanao. BigaTEN DepEd, BigaTEN DepEd.
Maayong adlaw ka natong tanan. Ako si Ramon Gonzalez Abrera, aka Kadeped Paulo, ang inyong Public Affairs Unit Lead Officer.
O ako usab si Marivic BigaTED, Education Program Supervisor. Sa ngalan ni Candice Racoma, ang atong rakista abogada aka Ka-DepEd Rada. Kami ang inyong kauban,
Kasaligan,
kadampan.
Kadeped sa BigaTEN DepEd Atin to. Alam mo, Kadeped Vic, at Tuesday na naman, mga
Yes.
Kadeped. At syempre, ano pa nga ba? It's our Choose 10 habit. Ngayon po ay ika-24 ng Mayo. At alam mo, Kadeped Vic, maraming salamat ha sa iyong pagpapaunlak sa amin upang makasama ka namin ngayon habang si Kadeped Rada ay kasalukuyang nakikilahok sa isang pambansang gawain.
Nako, Paulo. Isang napakalaking karangalan ang makasama kayo dito sa BigaTEN DepEd Atin to episode. Alam mo naman ako, Ka-DepEd Paulo, basta paglilingkod ang pag-uusapan, go ako dyan. Siyempre, maraming salamat sa aking Chief Roy Evangelista na palaging sumusuporta lalo na sa mga gawaing tulad nito.
Tama ka dyan. Chief Roy ha, maraming salamat. At by the way, Kadeped Vic, maitanong ko lang, ano ba ang mga ganap natin ngayon dyan, lalong-lalo na sa inyo dyan sa Quality Assurance Division?
Kasalukuyan, we are preparing for the upcoming National Qualifying Examinations for School Heads or NQuES, which will commence in June. And so right now, we are preparing for capability and capacity building workshop for all our takers and of course our live proctors kasi online na ngayon, Kadeped Paulo.
Ito ba yung sa mga gustong maging principal?
Yeah, so this is their qualifying exam. So hopefully in the future they'll get the item. I really pray for that.
At saka sa panahon mo, kapanahonan mo, paper and pen yun.
Oo, syempre.
At saka sa tingin mo, epektibo yun. At,
it was very effective and easier for me, I think, because I made it.
But if you will retake it today, which one will you prefer? Yung bang paper and pen o di kayo yung online na?
If really I have to choose, I think I would go for the paper and pen because it was very effective for me. Like what I had mentioned, I made it to that exam. And so, look where I am now.
Tama. Anyway, bago tayo magpatuloy, Kadeped Vic, greet lang natin yung FLT natin sa Super Excels.
Yes,
diba?
Of course, our no less than the USEC na our Undersecretary, Sir Dado San Antonio. Sir, maraming salamat. So, we enjoyed really and we learned a lot from
Yes, agree ako dyan.
course
Anyway,
sessions natin.
yeah, tama ka dyan. Hala, sige, Kadeped Vic, wag na tayong magpaligoy-ligoy at magpatumpik-tumpik pa ngayon kay Vice Ganda. Umpisahan na natin ang ratsada ng ating programa. Tampok ang isa sa ating mga sangay na tinaguriang the home of the icons and the stable of the stallions. Dahil dito sa Kagawaran ng Edukasyon, Region 10, tuloy na tuloy ang edukasyon at edu-aksyon sa bago ngayon. Ito ang BigaTEN DepEd Atin to. Ayan po, mga Kadeped Vic, meron tayong press release dito. Education Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones is currently in London, United Kingdom. Ayan, to address the 4-day plenary session of the Education World Forum or EWF on equity and resources in basic education in the world's largest gathering of over 125 lang naman ng mga education and skills ministers. The forum aims to discuss strategies on planning and developing education to support individual and collective resilience, economic progress, and the contribution education can or should make. The session will also discuss social and emotional learning, girls' education, and trends shaping education that are relevant to all levels of education.
Yes, and with the theme, education, building forward together, stronger, bolder, and better. The 4-day event will feature sessions in learning from education and how responses by all its stakeholders have strengthened, changed, and improved. The education chief is accompanied by the Undersecretary Nepomuceno Malaluan, Director Margarita Consolacion Ballesteros, and Director Nina Bianca Sanlay. For the complete details, please check out the press release dated May 19, 2022 or visit DepEd Philippines.
Ayan. Congratulations po, Secretary, and all the best po. At eto pa, Partner Vic, congratulations to our very own Chief of the Field Technical Assistance Division, Dr. Edith Lago Ortega, as a member lang naman of this year's Board of Trustees of the Philippine Public Schools Teachers Association or PPSTA. Saludo po kami sa inyo and all the best po, Chief Edith.
Wow, congrats,
Yeah.
Chief Edith. Likewise, ka-DepEd Paulo, DepEd Region 10 also congratulates the top performers of the Continuing Professional Learning Course for Alternative Learning System or ALS implementers Year 1. Please check Regional Memorandum Number 302, Series 2022 for the complete details.
Ito po mga ka-DepEd, you are watching BigaTEN DepEd 10 at atin to, Season 3. And today po, we are joined by the division of Malaybalay City, the home of the icons and the stable of the stallions, where, as always, sabi nga nila, is revitalizing schools and forging beyond standards as one division in one heart and one soul.
Tama ka dyan, partner. The multi-awarded division of Malaybalay City, headed by the Outstanding Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Victoria V. Gazo, and her ever-supportive, reliable, and loyal wingman / right-hand accomplice, who is likewise instrumental to all the successes of the division, the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Aliena S. Dahay.
That's right. And joining us in today's episode are two of the division's talented young educators, John Derrick L. Bingat and Ain Karil. I hope I got it right.
Okay.
Karil R. Valdez. Take it away, Kadeped Derrick and Kadeped Ain.
Good morning, Region 10, and good morning to all the viewers of BigaTEN DepEd 10, wherever you are in the world right now. Welcome to today's hosting of DepEd Division of Malaybalay City. Today, we will be featuring the best district innovation this school year, when the division was challenged by the pandemic and rose above mediocrity to claim top spot in terms of their delivery of the basic education learning continuity plan in all the divisions of Region 10.
You heard that right, ladies and gentlemen. Our dear viewers, DepEd Malaybalay City is the only division in the whole Philippines to have gotten 3 awards in last year's Secretary Briones Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction, or SAFE CI. Over the past couple of years, DepEd Malaybalay has been head over heels refining innovations not only in curriculum and instruction, but also in schools, governance, and operations, especially in school-based management. So much so that the division became one of the most awarded division in the entire Region 10.
Good morning, Ma'am Vicky and Ma'am Aliena. Good morning, ma'am. First of all, it is a pleasure for us, myself and Ma'am Aid, to be sharing with you this set and host the 48th episode in the 3rd season of DepEd BigaTEN 10. But first of all, partner, I'd like to break the monotony by asking our dear Ma'am SBS Gazo. In the last few episodes that we've hosted this season and featured some divisions, we almost always talk about face-to-face readiness of schools in our divisions. But somehow, we, the division of Malaybalay City, has seemed to be headed the opposite direction and feature some of our innovations during the pandemic. Is there any particular reason for this, Ma'am Vicky?
Good morning to both of you, A and Eric.
Good morning.
It is likewise our pleasure to be your guest in this morning's episode. Regarding your question, I believe my answer is both a yes and a no. Yes to the fact that we indeed have a reason for featuring the best innovation of the schools per district in our division. Hence we opted to link this episode's theme, responding to the call for excellence, because we want to showcase what we have done to respond to the most pressing need of our learners, and that is continuance of learning amidst challenges brought about by the pandemic. However, it is a no also for the sole reason of uncertainty. And forgive me if I tell you that as much as we are ecstatic seeing our learners in our schools, we still are uncertain if this setup will continue. So our goal today is not to feature some of our best innovations during the pandemic, but to feature what worked for us during this time and what will work for us in the face-to-face setting. Aim and Derek, we are trying to hit two birds with one stone, and we are not planning to stop these innovations in the near future because we now know that these innovations work.
Alright, tama nga naman sila,
Yes,
partner. It wouldn't make sense to stop something that has worked for us during pandemic, which we are sure will work also for us in the face-to-face setting. So kudos to you, Ma'am Vicky, for having the wisdom to continue those innovations. This time, I'd like to ask Ma'am Aliana. A pleasant day to you, ma'am. All right. So my question, ma'am, is could you please paint us out a picture of what is going on here in DepEd Malaybalay with regards to face-to-face implementation, ma'am?
A pleasant day to you, Derek and Ain. I thought you were never going to ask us that question. Anyways, DepEd Malaybalay has been very busy the last few months. After news broke that face-to-face learning modality implementation is going to be a reality this school year, we immediately set out division personnel team to evaluate some of our schools. Using the department-issued School Safety Assessment Tool, or the SSAT, we prepared our schools for the safe, effective, and efficient conduct of the progressive expansion of face-to-face learning. Our first order of the business became making sure that our schools have sufficient supply of learning resources needed in the expansion and design class programs that cater to both learners in the face-to-face class arrangement and distance learning education. Likewise, we required all participating schools to develop strategies to prevent COVID-19 transmission among stakeholders and maintain the provision of basic mental health services and psychosocial support to ensure their well-being and protection.
And if I may add also,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
required our schools to develop an implementation plan for coordination with the local government to ensure that health and safety protocols have been observed correctly. So in a way, the SSAT that Ma'am Aliena was mentioning a while ago became our gold standard of excellence in evaluating all our schools in the implementation of face-to-face learning. And just to give you a bird's eye view of the number of schools participating in the face-to-face implementation, we are proud and happy to tell you that 100%, that is 85 out of 85 schools within the division, are seeing approximately 22,000 learners on a scheduled basis weekly. And that is a monumental feat for all of us here in the division. Taking about the private schools also, as of now, 6 schools have applied for face-to-face implementation, 3 of which have their documents forwarded to the regional office, awaiting for the go signal, and the other 3 are awaiting endorsement, pending completion of necessary documents.
All I can say, partner, is wow. DepEd Malaybalay City is doing it by the books. And why shouldn't they, partner? A lot is at stake for all of us here. Our preparations speak a lot of our reputation and our readiness. After all, we wouldn't want our schools to be hotbeds of viral transmissions. The fact that these parents trusted us for the well-being of their children, we must also make sure that we are ready. Are you ready, partner?
Yes.
Would you say so, partner A?
You are exactly right, DepEd Derek. The last we would want right now are people, especially the media, parading into our schools and questioning us of the preparations we've made. But enough of that. For the meantime, partner, we are not here to gloat about the what ifs. We are actually here because DepEd Malaybalay has promised us that they would give us a virtual tour of the division. Yes, and showcase the best innovation from each of their districts. And I cannot wait for them to do just that. For the meantime, I would like to bid a temporary goodbye to our 2 lovely guests here, Ma'am Vicky and Ma'am
Thank you so much,
Aliana.
ma'am.
We'll see you a bit later. So, partner, I guess the only thing left to do now is to take our viewers on this virtual tour. Wouldn't you say so?
Yes, partner. So off we go. Our first pilot school of District 1 of DepEd Malaybalay City is Kalasungay Central School. For those of you who doesn't know much about Kalasungay Central School, here are a few of their accolades from the previous school year. They are a national finalist in last year's Secretary's Award for Excellence in Curriculum. Highest generated resources among large school elementary level category in the regional Brigada Eskwela Best Implementing Schools. Top 5 in the regional Brigada Eskwela Jingle Contest, both in the elementary and secondary level.
Truly, the school is exceptional, partner. They are also top 3 in the regional Brigada Eskwela Best Implementing School for large elementary schools category. They're also regional awardee as Outstanding Implementer in Learning Delivery Modality or LDM. For alternative learning systems, also they are regional awardee as Outstanding Implementer in LDM for kindergarten. And to give you a glimpse of what this school has to offer or is passionate about, let's all watch this.
Good day, everyone. I am Mrs. Marites Gumayaw, School Principal 1 of Kalasungay Central School, Malaybalay City District 1, Division of Malaybalay City. In response to the ELNA, Bawat Bata Umabasa National Reading Advocacy, DepEd Region 10 created also the Care for Norming Readers or CNR Reading Advocacy. To implement these advocacies, we utilize the field area tools for grades 3 to 6 learners, IGRA-RADA for grades 1 and 2 learners, and ECCD checklist for the kindergarten in order to identify the gaps and challenges in reading. To address these gaps, the school developed and implemented 13 research-based reading innovations for the kindergarten to grade 3 level. The good performance of the learners is the result of the collaborative efforts of the teachers and the parents acting as home learning facilitators in the implementation of these effective reading innovations. Agpabasa Ko'y reading advocacy plays a special part in the early language literacy and numeracy implementation of the school, which is launched to address the needs of the learners during this pandemic time. This reading advocacy aims to develop the reading skills of struggling readers and improve the numeracy skills of learners. Agpabasa Ko'y reading advocacy is the mother of the existence of the different reading innovations. It is a beneficial initiative of the school because it has provided the learners with different interesting digital and non-digital reading materials which ensure the development of their reading and numeracy skills amidst the challenges of the new normal learning setup. The result of the ECCD for kindergarten, EGWA Arata for grade 1 and 2 learners, and Philpiri pre-test for grade 3 to 6 for school year 2020-2021 showed that 56% or 265 out of 477 K-3 learners are identified as struggling readers. In response to this need during school year 2020-2021, which was furtherly supported with findings of the action researches of the teachers, the Agpabasa Ko'y reading advocacy paved the way for the development of the different catchment innovations in reading and numeracy from kindergarten to grade 3 level. Hence, the school reading task force of Kalasungay Central School has intensified the reading program of the school in order to make learners read independently through regular reading habits. With the different catchment innovations that were implemented under the Agpabasa Ko'y reading advocacy, teachers were able to provide the parents who served as home learning facilitators with digital and non-digital reading materials for the conduct of home reading activities. Due to the limited funds of the school, the Agpabasa Ko'y reading advocacy also encouraged the participation of the stakeholders through our SAPIPI innovation in order to provide the teachers with adequate supplies which they can use in the reproduction of the reading materials. SAPIPI means stakeholders as partners in project implementation.
We are always responsible for it.
And joining us this morning to tell us a bit more about that presentation is Public Schools District Supervisor, Dr. Aba Q. Alyaba. And joining him is the enigmatic school principal of Kalasungay Central School, Ma'am Marife C. Gumayo. Good morning to the both of you, ma'am and sir.
Good morning.
And welcome to this episode of BigaTEN DepEd. So partner, if you don't mind me cutting right to the chase, I want to ask this question directly to our PSDS.
Sure, partner. Go ahead.
We know that in response to the call for evidence-based interventions within the school, a lot of proposals have been geared towards alleviating reading proficiency in schools, and yet, apparently, you also gave the go signal to KCS to intervene in reading. So I guess my question, sir, is, why reading? Why not mathematical proficiency or any other subject-related proficiency for that matter? Sir?
Before I answer that question, I would like to say good morning likewise to the both of you. Kadipid Ain, Kadipid Derek, Kadipid Meriti. So why reading? Why not? Our goal in this school is to make learners read independently through regular reading habits. Study shows that learners who read independently have greater reading comprehension, oral fluency, and general knowledge than those who do not. Regular reading increases one's vocabulary and ability to think, improve one's verbal and writing abilities, and broadens one's horizon. Thus, it is important to learners to adopt the reading culture for improved academic performance. So when we got the challenge to showcase the most significant and most impactful flagship innovation in our district, there was no doubt in my mind that reading would be it.
Thank you so much for that, Doc. Now, this time I've got to ask this question to our dear principal, Ma'am Mary. Ma'am, it was mentioned that you made a quite number of innovations addressed to the reading gaps in your school. Was it 13, ma'am? All right. And it was from kindergarten to grade 3. Now, ma'am, how do you keep to manage all these innovations? And how do you know which ones work best, ma'am?
I'm glad that you asked that question because you seem to share the sentiments of those who are doubtful about what we are doing here. But first, let me greet the both of you with a pleasant day. Kadipid Ain, to be honest with you, it is not so much on the number of reading innovations that we have introduced that matters, in as much as the behavior or the habit that we want these learners to develop. Truth be told, we actually try to develop that reading habit at a very young age. That's why we started in the kindergarten level. Once they developed that love for reading, we realized we couldn't just abandon that behavior. And so we progressively developed innovation after innovation to an increasing level of difficulty as we go along so that we can sustain the hunger and love that our learners have to read.
Wow. So going along that progression is also a need to manage all those that you have mentioned, ma'am. So tell us, how do you keep abreast with what is going on within your classroom relating to these innovations?
I don't. That is not my responsibility. This whole reading proficiency alleviation idea is not mine to begin with. It is a product of our teachers' drive to respond to an identified need. I am just fortunate enough to be working with some of the most brilliant and hardworking teachers as any school principal could hope for. Brilliant to the point of coming up with research-based innovations in reading. So what I only did was to guide them so that they can go from just identifying the need to having something that will impact their lives. I understand also that as a leader, I am only an instrument so that those things would come into fruition.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Ma'am Mary Fe. So, partner, I guess the keyword there is empowerment. That's right. These school leaders need to empower their teachers so they do what they're supposed to do, even without checking on their teachers every single time. Well, we certainly learned a lot today, all thanks to our PSDS, Dr. Abba Anyaba. Thank you so much, sir. And also to our school principal, Ma'am Mary Fe Gumalaw. Thank you so much. You're welcome for sharing your time with us.
Ayan, partner.
Wow, thank you, Division of Malaybalay City. Of course, to the host, Kadeped Derek and Kadeped Ain. Of course, for facilitating. And partner, I'm so appreciative. No? I like the idea that they have already conducted a lot of innovations and interventions on reading, specifically for Kalasungay National High School. And, you know, ang kanilang advocacy is on Agbasa Ko'y. So, which I really like, so very personalized, so very localized, and I'm appreciative to that. Plus, it was also highlighted by the school principal that all their interventions are research-based.
Ayan, maganda yan. At syempre naka-anchor yan sa sa DepEd Region 10 na Care for Norman Readers.
Yes.
Yung project CNR natin.
So they're doing great. I remember they also, the Kalasungay Central School qualifies in the National Safe CI. You remember that?
Yung Secretary's Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction. So no wonder. Kasi national qualifier nga, di ba?
So congratulations Malaybalay, and plus of course, their readiness for face-to-face setup. So ang galing lang naman. Congratulations SDS, Victoria, and of course ASPS.
Ayan, congratulations po. Eto, partner, bago tayo magpatuloy, shoutout muna tayo direct. Tingnan natin kung sino yung mga nanonood sa atin at batiin natin. Ayan, from, nako, palagi talaga to, si DIOJ Kakaya ng El Salvador City. Watching from DepEd El Salvador. Thank you, Ma'am Jade. Ayan, meron pa kay Alia Lanzon. Tama ba? Good morning, everyone. Watching from San Jose Integrated School, Quezon, Bukidnon, Quezon District. Diha ko nag-eskwela sa una, partner. Sa akong eskwelahan. Teresita Balendres, good morning, watching from Malaybalay City National High School, Malaybalay City Division. Thank you for watching. At mula naman kay Mary Moon, good morning, watching from Malaybalay City National High School also. At saka mula naman kay Gagay, tama ba? Gazel Cuano. Good morning, everyone watching from Ozami City National High School. Partner, ikaw naman.
Yes, and we also have more pa shout out. According to Teresita Balendres, she's saying, good morning, watching from Malaybalay City National High School. Mukhang maraming viewers tayo from Malaybalay City.
Siyempre.
And partner, uy, taga dyan ako.
Wow.
I am a Malaybalay nun, okay?
I'm pretty sure they're proud of you.
Of course, I hope so. Maristela Malalis Olandre, good morning everyone, watching from Mintanar ES Sangay Diot Ozame City Division. Hello there. And we also have good morning BigaTEN from Candice.
Ay,
hello,
partner.
Hello, Rakista Abugada.
Nako, wala sa next week, so ikaw pa rin, partner,
okay.
ha?
So,
anyway, babalik yan si attorney.
Should I say thank you?
Yeah.
Thank you also, Ma'am Leia Pakudan. She's saying, good morning, everyone. Watching from Malaybalay City National High School, SDO, Malaybalay City.
Ayan, sige.
Hello there, everyone. And
meron pa ba direct?
One more from Lexi and May Villaraza. Good day to all. Watching all the way from BCT Elementary School Division of Malaybalay City. Wow, proud ako dyan sa BCT.
Ayan.
Because
Sige.
they won in 6.
Sige, partner, check muna natin yung DepEd Philippines kung sino yung mga nanonood. At saka allow me to wear my glasses, partner.
Sure.
Ito from, sandali. Ito
So my
from,
partner is
yan.
doing his laptop.
Yeah,
Okay,
via
for this time.
DepEd Philippines. Good morning, watching from Cabancalan National High School, SDO Cabancalan City. Ayan. Mula naman sa Nueva Ecija kay Virgie Salamanca, watching po from NVGA CHS, SDO. Ayan, thank you for watching. At syempre, mula...
Valencia City, partner.
nanonood sa DepEd Philippines.
Valerie de Guzman.
At mula naman sa Handumanan City, ganda naman ang pangalan. Nika Jen Marquez Regalado. At mula naman sa Puerto Elementary School, Elizabeth Huranio Makabudbod. Ikaw, partner, sino makikita mo dyan?
From Navota City, Jimwell Tokmo of Dagatan Elementary School. Wow, partner. And of course, from Tungawan, Zambonga, Sibugay, Gayo Centurias. Hello, good morning.
Ayan, eto, partner.
Watching from DepEd tayo, Asan ES Bangatu District Division of South Cotabato, Mindanao, Lilydel Demarine. Thank you for watching.
And then finally,
from General Santos City, Glamour Flores. Hello
ayan.
there to all our viewers.
Sige, partner.
So, ayan, partner. Ayan po, mga ka-DepEd. Tuloy po ang ating road trip to excellence. Kasama pa rin sina John Derek L. Bingat at Ain Karel R. Valde. Let's watch this.
Is an integral component of school function. Coming up next is a school who made every effort to reach the farthest learner possible. Along the way, they met old friends and new acquaintances. Little did they know, the latter would become instrumental in their pursuit of excellence. To know more about them, let us listen to Partner A. Partner, take it away.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear viewers, welcome to Canayan Integrated School. Canayan Integrated School is a second place winner in the Secretary's Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction, or Safe CI for Senior High School Large Schools category. They are also a regional finalist in Best Implementers of School-Based Feeding Program. One of their teachers garnered first place in the National Open Educational Resources Contest for ebook or best ebook in arts in the first and fourth quarter. And another one is they have a teacher broadcaster qualified for DepEd TV. Finally, one of the highest honor their teacher obtained was to be an outstanding research advocate of the Philippines. To know more about this innovation and how their community became instrumental in their success, let's all watch this.
CIS Radio 102.0 FM, a radio based instruction program. Kanayan Integrated School is located in a remote part of the city proper of Malaybalay, where cellular signal and internet connection are low to zero from the coverage area. Since the new normal of continuing the delivery of basic education through distance learning, connecting to our learners by phone and internet are always in vain. Having experienced this difficulty in communication, this pandemic has paved the way in incorporating something new and innovative. The school came up with an initiative to utilize broadcast media to reach our learners from the different cities of Barangay Canayan and deliver education in the comfort of their homes, as they were not allowed to go to school. With the sponsorship of one stakeholder who voluntarily donated equipment to help us with our dreams to put up an FM radio station, we were able to realize our very own school radio-based instruction, dubbed as CIS Radio 102.0 FM. What a very timely partnership in response to the very need of our unique situation. Most favorably, prior to the installation of the radio station, the school and all other 5 city schools in Barangay Canayan were all recipients of 10 units trompa speakers and 2 units each of transistor radios from the local government, initiated by the district supervisor, Sir Bonifacio M. Palo Jr. These materials were distributed to be utilized for the maximum implementation of the radio-based instruction program of Malaybalay City Division. Last July 14, 2021, we have finally installed our very own educational FM radio station broadcasting at 102.0 MHz, which was utilized for our school radio-based instruction program, on-air meetings, and other special announcements of the school. It was made possible through the help of the school's internal and external stakeholders. There were also technical assistance rendered by colleagues from the department that contributed a great part in the success during the launching of the program. The launching and ribbon cutting ceremony was graced by the donor, Congressman John Flores, and other present were the City Mayor, Deputy Superintendent Representative, local and PTA officials. After which, our FM radio station was officially on air. We have done a test broadcast prior to the live airing of the lessons to check the clarity and range of the broadcast. To better equip the teachers on the implementation of our school radio-based instruction program, the school principal, together with the RBI coordinators, conducted a school-based orientation workshop for all the teachers in Canayan Integrated School. During the activity, the teachers were oriented about radio-based instruction program, basic radio script writing, basic guide for voice ITRES, and radio program hosting. The speakers of the said seminar were experts on the field, among whom are Shelame M. Galyodo, aka Deji Lola, of Lab Radio Malaybalay, teacher journalists Jerry Hava of Malaybalay City Central School, and Florence Dublab of Managok National High School. After the orientation, all of the teachers started to make their own scripts for the live airing of the lessons. All of the scripts were evaluated first by the school quality assurance team before it may be aired. All of the teachers from elementary to senior high school were given the opportunity to be a live program host in the delivery of their lessons. Since live program hosting is a totally new experience to most of the teachers, they were oriented first on how to operate the radio software and other consoles while on board. Announcement on the schedule of RBI for all grade levels were made via daily live airing of an anchor and also posted through our school Facebook and RBI Facebook page. Printed announcements were also posted in conspicuous spaces in the community. The target listeners are the learners from preschool to senior high school of Canayan Integrated School and its neighboring schools. An alternate schedule of live airing of lessons were one straight week for the elementary, another straight week for junior high school, and another one straight week for the senior high school to provide continuity of the lesson and give equal allotted time for all the grade levels. Before the live airing, the teachers on board have already distributed copies of their worksheets to the learners for them to easily answer the activities. The school has 2 units of trompa and sound system that are used during the RBI airing. This will help promote our school radio-based instruction program to the community. In assessing the result and impact of the implementation of our radio-based instruction program, we found out that only a few CTUs of Barangay Canayan were able to reach our broadcast. Also, other learners don't have transistor radios at home. To address this gap, we have created a Facebook page for our school RBI where learners can access online the RBI recorded lessons anytime. We are also coordinating with our stakeholders for possible donations of transistor radios to be given to the learners. Presently, we only have radio-based instruction program as our main radio program. We are planning to have news program and other educational programs by the next school year. Indeed, the school's educational FM radio station will be an excellent medium to reach our clientele and deliver quality education as well as public announcements and other information. Canayan Integrated School, Cradle of Excellence.
This time, we are joined in by none other than Public Schools District Supervisor, Sir Bonifacio M. Rupalo Jr., as well as Ma'am Amor Celeste P. Rojas, the school principal of Canayan Integrated School. Good morning, Sir Bonnie.
Good morning.
I hope that you don't mind me calling that. And good morning, Ma'am Amor.
Hi there.
Good morning. Now, partner, I'm just going to throw this question right to our PSDS. If you don't mind, Sir Bonnie, how crucial are our stakeholders in this time that we are having this pandemic? Sir Bonnie?
Yes, we have challenges encountered along the way, specifically on financial resources. And we are affected once it becomes scarce. As the saying goes, we cannot give what we don't have. So to whom we can lend on during scarcity. This is the time that our stakeholders come in, where at all times we can depend on. We cannot move forward without them in planning, in the implementation, and even in the evaluation of our programs and projects. In short, our stakeholders, our lifeblood. They push us, they sustain us, they pull us up. Again, Derek and Ain, our stakeholders are our lifeblood. Imagine a man without blood. That's how crucial our stakeholders in this time of pandemic. Thank you.
Very well said, sir. Come to think of it, we do need the community to keep us moving. I couldn't imagine what it would feel like for a school not to be supported by the community. It lends meaning to the famous African proverb, it takes a whole village to educate a child. Speaking of children, I would like to ask our dear principal. Hello, ma'am. Good morning, Mama.
Hi, Jane. Good morning.
All right, ma'am. My question is, how has the learners responded to your introduction of the radio-based instruction?
Well, our learners responded beautifully thus far with our implementation of radio-based instruction. Initially, we had setbacks like most of our learners do not have radios to begin with. But it was taken care of by our district supervisor, Sir Bonnie Palo, in the division office by inviting sponsors of AM/FM radios. There were also parents complaining that their kids no longer have time to listen to radios as there were a bunch of modules to answer to. But as we went on, the learners ultimately found the value of listening to the radio as the next best thing to having the teachers right in front of them. And this behavior sort of transcended to the parents, as we can say that parents now have responded positively to RBI. We saw evidence on this behavior like grades slowly went up and modules retrieved and received on time with fewer unanswered pages of their modules.
Wow, it is nice to hear that, Mama Moore, and it was even nice knowing that you went through extra mile to deliver that additional push for our learners. Nice job, ma'am. We hope that through the efforts you have made involving the stakeholders will serve as a reminder to everyone that anything is possible if the school and the community will work together for the progress of our learners. Best of luck to both of you, Mama Moore and Sir. Best of luck. You will certainly be hearing from us in the near future should we need insights on setting up radio-based instruction.
Again, thank you so much, Sir Bonnie and Ma'am Amor. Next up is a school who really need not much introduction. Wika nga nila, this school lets their action do the talking. Recently, they were awarded first place in Secretary's Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction for Most Learning-Focused Public Senior High School, second place in the Secretary's Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction for Most Learning-Focused Public Junior High School. They also garnered first place in the 2021 recognition of the school's best practices in the implementation of Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or BELCP, via School-Based Management, or SBM. But enough of that, our time will not be enough enumerating all their monumental milestones. To give our dear viewers what they were busy for during the pandemic, let's all watch this.
From shocks and tents to the modern age, Bukidnon National High School, a premier secondary institution of Division of Malaybalay City, Region 10, headed by the Secondary School Principal 4, Dr. Susan S. Olana. Leaping over challenges to provide opportunities for learners. This is the Senior High School Safe CI. The school innovated programs and activities which resulted to enhance learners' achievement, permaculture, and a twin greening innovation. 100% of students were equipped with knowledge and skills in organic agriculture. Significant accomplishments. 21 out of 21 of research groups were capacitated and have approved research proposals. 12 out of 22 have presented their research findings. 41% have utilized the research findings in different school programs. 144 out of 144 researchers achieved mastery in the research process. In 2 consecutive school years, BNHS has 100% passing rate in bookkeeping and C3. From nearly 78%, the MPS in entrepreneurship improved to 88.98%. Project Bossy, 125 out of 125 of learners enhanced their skills in entrepreneurship. Learners engaged in product advertisements. 485 out of 497 were aware of the right to suffrage. 2,450 out of 2,511 students have improved their communication skills and developed self-confidence. Through the aid of teaching resources, learners had 100% passing rate for national certificate assessment. 100% of the learners have processed the application and passed the National Certificate Assessment through LAPIT. 100% of the SPED learners grasp the topic with the use of README, strategic intervention, and digital interactive instructional materials to maximize learning resources. Play and learn. 100% of learners have advanced their skills and competence in sports. 25 out of 25 learners achieved mastery in short filmmaking, music composition, and painting. I care. 136 out of 144 students have aligned courses in college. 100% of them designed and plotted their career pathways. Values among SHS students such as helpfulness, collaboration, and accountability were developed and imparted. There is a significant increase of learners who preferred online classes. BNHS is ready for the possibility of face-to-face classes in the new normal. Multimodal integration helped ABM students improve their mastery on a scale. Bukidnon National High School, above and beyond pride and excellence.
This time, joining us is a man who has his works cut out for him, making sure that the schools under him, like Bukidnon National High School, live up to all the expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear viewers, let us all welcome Public School District Supervisor Sir Noel A. Canary. And joining him on set is the multi-talented, multifaceted, and multi-awarded secondary school principal for Bukidnon National High School, Dr. Susan S. Ulana. Partner, would you do the honor?
Certainly, partner. Good morning to both of you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. So, I've got to ask PSDS Teneri, relative to the introduction, my partner so meticulously elaborated a while ago that you have the inviolable task of making the best out of the schools under your care. So, sir, how hard is it for you to make sure that they do what exactly you expect them to? Sir?
Good morning to DepEd A. It's my pleasure to be with you again. And it is not hard for me to run the District 3 since we have only 4 school heads. And I know that they have really burning desire to implement the programs and projects of the Department of Education. Through mutual respect and trust that we establish with one another, we have a huge success.
Well, thank you so much, Sir Canary. Well, we can really see it you. You exude this aura of friendliness and approachability. It's no wonder that the school heads and principals are responding positively to your tutelage. Speaking of principals, I want to ask Ma'am Susan. Ma'am Sue, Bukidnon National High School has not only been a symbol of excellence academically, but likewise with the provision of an environment conducive for learning. As evident by your numerous national recognitions as Hall of Famer for the Brigada Escuela. So I guess my question would be, how do you establish a balance between providing a conducive environment for effective learning to happen and making sure that effective learning does, in fact, happen? Ma'am Sue?
Thank you very much. Personally, I believe that as a leader, the first thing that you should master is to master the art of doing the balancing act. And whatever your plans are, it should be anchored on the roles and responsibilities. We have 12 of them. If I still have time, I'll have to enumerate all of them. But with your plans that is anchored on the Republic Act 9155 and in consonance also with the standing policy of the Department of Education, the first that you're going to do as a school head is to set the vision and the mission of the school, anchored on the vision of the Department of Education. And second is you're going to create an environment that is conducive to learning. You have to implement programs and projects of the department, but in the implementation of the programs and project of the department, we have to be very careful because not all of the programs and projects are applicable in your school.
Wow. You know what, partner, when you're hearing Dr. Susan, don't miss even a single word. You are truly a role model to everybody, Dr. Susan.
Thank you. Thank you,
Partner.
Yes. So hearing that from you, ma'am, kind of makes me wonder about the preparations and communications you do to your teachers so you are updated to the things they are likewise expected to do. So, ma'am, walk us through some of the routines, maybe 3 routines to summarize that you do to consistently keep yourself abreast of the latest happenings within your school, ma'am.
If you're talking about the routine, of course, you have the routine at home. You bring it in school. I do morning devotions. Of course, another ritual, and that's reading the Bible. And then the next thing that I'll have to do is to look at those that are actionables.
I'm left speechless with that, partner.
I agree with you,
So
partner.
devotion, communication, and mastery.
That's
yes.
right.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, straight from the multi-awarded principal of BigaTEN National High School. It's only my wish that you have gotten insights and critical information on how to better manage the schools you are running, especially if you are in that position. So thank you to you too, BSDS Noel Teneri. Thank you, sir. And also thank you so much to our secondary school principal, Miss Susan Olana. Kudos on the job. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ayan, partner.
Yes, there you have it, partner. Malaybalay City Division has just featured 2 schools such as
The Kanayan?
Kanayan Integrated
Mhm.
School, and of course, Bukidnon National High School, my alma mater.
Wow.
So congratulations to the 2 schools and the leaders behind those successes and interventions, innovations that you have just implemented and have been implementing in the schools. So, special greetings ako, partner. Sa PSDS of Kanayan, no, Integrated School. Sir Bonifacio Palo. Sir, hello, sir. I remember you. I hope you still remember me. I was once your substitute teacher at Sumilao National High School. You were my principal. I still, of course, can freshly recall how you have led me. Okay, and everybody in the school. Congratulations.
Magaling.
Of course.
Look at you now.
Nahon talaga. And yeah, of course, thank you also and congratulations to Bukidnon National High School for winning in the national twice in a row.
Yeah. 2020, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 2020 at saka 2021.
Yes.
Consistent.
So, consistent. That's only Bukidnon National High School. My alma mater, of course, with the leadership of no less than Dr. Susan Olana. Congratulations to all of you and of course, the entire Malaybalay City Division.
Pansin ko lang, partner, yung sa Kaanyan ba yun?
Kanayan.
Kanayan,
Integrated School.
Kanayan Integrated School, yan. Feature nila yung mga, for example, yung radio-based instruction nila na patuloy pa rin. At sa tingin ko, partner, yun bang halimbawa, kahit babalik na yung face-to-face classes natin, patuloy pa rin yung blended learning natin. Yung radio-based instruction, for example. Kasi, di ba, partner, halimbawa, kahit face-to-face classes na tayo, hindi pa rin natin maipagkakailan na yung blended learning, yung gamit yung radio-based instruction, ay talagang makatutulong sa ating mga mag-aaral.
It becomes an intervention.
Yeah. Ibig sabihin talaga, yun bang, at least we are able to address yung different learning styles ng ating mga
and reach out to
estudyante.
And reach out to as many in the community.
Yeah, kung hindi ka masyadong magaling dun sa reading at saka o di ka sa writing,
sa audio
ka.
Okay,
Radio-based instruction.
And what makes it even more worth appreciating, partner, is that the all-out support of the stakeholders in the community, like in the installation of all those equipments, ang galing lang naman. So, congratulations.
At saka ito namang sa Bukidnon National High School, of course, headed by Dr. Susan Olana. Hindi ako magtataka, partner, kung successful din sila, no? At least twice, ha? National yan.
I witnessed noticed that.
Yes,
We were there.
Yeah, it's the kahit sabihin natin it's synergy, collaboration, support of the stakeholders. Nandiyan talaga yung effective leadership eh.
Yeah,
At saka I got a chance to interview one time si Dr. Ulana nung bumisita kami sa kanilang school one time together with RD Art. Nakita ko talaga kung gaano kagaling at saka gaano ka hands-on si Dr. Susan. Napakagaling talaga. Ang daming magaling mag-innovate at saka yung sa mga acronyms pa lang nila ang gaganda. 'Di ba? Very catchy.
I cannot memorize but they are catchy.
Meron kung alala ko meron siyang hats yata 'yon. Hats. Nakalimutan ko na yung ano ibig sabihin ng hats.
Permaculture is, I think, yung pinaka-umbrella program nila. That's why they made it again for the second time around at the Safe CI.
Tsaka kung sino yung kung gusto nilang manalo sa Safe CI at saka kung ano pa man yung mga award-giving bodies na search dyan, pwede sila mag-benchmark doon sa Bukidnon National High School.
And I'm sure everybody in Bukidnon National High School and all other winning institutions in Malaybalay Division are willing to also help assist.
Yeah.
And of course, share their stories and success.
Sige. Direct, shout out ulit tayo. Okay lang ba?
Shout out na naman
Gamit ako ng glasses, partner, ha? Ayan, from Levi and May Villaraza. Good day to all watching all the way from BCT Elementary School Division of Malaybalay City, syempre. Ayan. Eto, kapatid ko from the US. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Baltimore. Hello, Ate Grace. Thank you. Walay pabor-pabor, kapatid ko pa rin yan. Good morning, Bigatan, and to Mary Flor Abrera. And me watching from Montreal, Canada. Nako,
saan kaya ang mga kapatid ko?
bibisita yan sila this June. Ayan, to Eps Lori Iliagas. Hello, kasamang QAD Maribig. Ayan, walay pabor-pabor.
Of course, to the whole Quality Assurance Division.
Yan, sino yan, partner? Kilala mo yan.
Sir Noel, good morning mga Lodi. Lodi din kita, of course.
Ayan, sino pa ba? Kay John, ayan, yung ano natin, yung host natin, kay John Derek Bingat. Good morning, watching from Indalasa Elementary School, Malaybalay City Division. Fly high, Malaybalay. Partner.
Fly high, Malaybalay. And do we have more? Yes!
DIO natin sa Malaybalay.
Okay. Hello, Sir Rio Arbutante. Go, Sir Ramon and Ma'am. Thank you. And of course, we have good morning everyone watching here from Natidasan Elementary School, Giselle M. Santonino. And we also have...
Meron pa ba? Ayan.
Meron pa, Jenaline Carion. Good morning, watching from Narciso B. Ledesma Central School, SDO, Ozami City. Wow, partner, ang dami from Ozami City.
Ayan.
And we have also Gabertan, Dapel, Kauai. Okay. Hi, good morning, John Gabriel Wapper, grade 2, Ampalaya. And Joanna Gabriel G. Wapper, grade 1, Gabi, of Vicity Elementary School, Impalambong, Malaybalay City.
Ayan. Dito naman tayo sa DepEd Philippines, partner. From Annie Cebulen, good morning, watching from Narciso B. Ledesma Central School. At mula naman kay Angelina Pacquiao mula sa Iligan City Division, of course, National High School. Good morning po sa tanan, watching from Suarez National High School. Ayan. At mula naman saan na to? Tingnan natin.
Del Pilar.
Del Pilar. Ayan, kay Dayan Joyce Kiapia. Tama ba? At mula naman ayan, SDO Cabancalan City, Arlene Ababaw Matula. Good morning po. And mula naman siyempre, saan ba ito? Tingnan natin to. Carmen.
Yes.
La Paz National High School, kay Castlebrook. Grabe naman yung pangalan. Ikaw, partner, sino nakikita mo dyan?
Yeah, good morning from Libaco, SDO of Aklan. Sino yun?
Ito. Ayan.
Yan, that's Flitch Saga.
Ito, partner.
We also have watching live Living Light Academy Incorporated of Putatan, Muntinlupa City, Amelita Alvarez Laurente. Hello there. We also have good morning watching from Tapulang Integrated School, SDO Capiz, Melo Paron de Ramas.
And
from Negros Occidental, Liberty Obeja.
And finally, partner.
And finally, from Tagbilaran City Central School, Maria Antoinette Padre Ganda Dugang.
Ayan,
Hello,
marami
Padre.
pa yan. So, babasa natin yung mga greetings nila mamaya-maya lamang. Ayan po mga ka-DepEd, tuloy-tuloy po ang ating mga kwento at ratsada dito sa BigaTEN DepEd 10 atin to. Kasama pa rin ang sangay ng lungsod Malaybalay. At syempre, ihatid pa rin ito ng ating magagaling na ka-DepEd na sina John Derrick L. Bingat at Ain Karil R. Valde. Panoorin po natin ito.
Moving on with our road trip, we will travel next to a school who relatively came out of non-existence to be top spot in the 2021 Secretary Briones Award for Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction, or SAFE-CI, as the most learning-focused public elementary school from kindergarten to grade 3 medium school category. Likewise, they are the 2021 Gantimpala Agad Award for the most improved school campus, most conducive school campus, most orderly, timely distribution and retrieval of modules, and most parent-friendly school in their division level, and the 2020 Brigada Escuela, best implementing school for elementary level, medium school category. Not to break the surprise, let us all watch this first.
To read or not to read? Research shows that reading makes learner more articulate, develop higher order reasoning, and promote critical thinking. Much more so if this habit is developed with the help of the parents. This is likewise the hope of BigaTEN Elementary School when we implemented one of our reading innovation entitled Anak Ko, Pagbasa Mo, Sagot Ko. In an evaluation intended to determine the number of non-readers in our school, it was found out that among grade 2 learners, more than a third of them are either non-readers or slow reader in Filipino, and more than a half of them exhibit similar behavior in English. The innovation that started with an orientation that included instructions on the use of downloadable teaching reading materials for use to those with internet connectivity, while printed reading materials are made available to those without internet access, aimed at ensuring that non-reader and slow reader learners receive continuous reading lessons at home. This innovation is done through daily 10-minute reading activity before answering the modules every day, with a consistent monitoring and guidance of their parents and teachers. Weekly tasks averaging between 3 to 4 activities consisting of letter sounds, words, phrase, and sentences are given at a sequential and progressive manner. It is therefore expected that learners should gain mastery over the activity before moving to the more difficult ones. To ensure compliance to the task assigned, a weekly progress monitoring tool is attached where parents are to record correctness to perceive sounds of letters, words, syllables, and sentences within the assigned activity. Remarks are also incorporated to give guidance to the parents on the next course of action. Teachers, on the other hand, are to give feedback, which is done through phone calls, video calls, or home visitation with their agreed schedule. After 8 weeks of program implementation, there was a significant increase in the reading proficiency level of all the identified learner participants. We take pride in making our parents active participants in the learning process of their children because here in BCT Elementary School, we educate, nurture, and create.
Joining us this time is Public Schools District Supervisor, Ms. Lisa G. Marindunog, and School Principal, Mr. Ricky Barcena. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Kadipid In and Kadipid Diri.
Good morning.
Welcome to BigaTEN DepEd. First of all, I have to ask Ma'am Lisa, our DSPS. Ma'am, I noticed from your presentation that in order for BCT Elementary School to effectively carry out the innovation, anak ko, pagbasa mo, sagot ko, a lot of it has to involve the parents. Now, ma'am, how important do you think is parental involvement in the development of these learners?
Yes, Kadipid In. Actually, there are researches that points to the benefits of parental involvement in learning. For example, some show that parental involvement in their children's learning positively affects the child's performance at school in both primary and secondary schools, leading to higher academic achievement, greater cognitive competence, greater problem-solving skills, greater school enjoyment, better school attendance, and fewer behavioral problems at school. Similarly, there are also researches which suggest that early reading experiences of children with their parents prepare them to formal literacy instruction, and indeed, parental involvement in their child's reading has been found to be the most important determinant of language and emergent literacy. Finally, parental involvement in their child's literacy practices is a more powerful force than other family background variables such as social class, family size, and level of parental education, while reading enjoyment is more important for children's educational success than their family socio-economic status. So, you could see how passionate we are to developing the love for reading to our learners here in BCT Elementary School of District 4.
Wow, our PSTS did her research, partner. Indeed, reading does influence a number of facets in our learners' behavior. But let me ask our principal, Sir Barcena, regarding the willingness of the parents to be participants in this innovation. Sir, have you encountered any hesitancy or disapproval from the parents to take active part in the process? Sir?
Okay, good morning, Kadiped Derek and Kadiped Ain. And to everyone, especially to our viewers who are watching this BigaTEN DepEd 10 episode today. Of course, our district supervisor, Ma'am Lisa Balintungog. Well, to be honest with you, Kadiped Derek, initially, some of our parents here in BCT Elementary School did. We observed gestures of hesitation and disapproval to some of our parents. But that was when they didn't understand fully what we're doing. But then we took that as a challenge to refine our intervention. We sat with the parents, had an orientation with them, explained to them the purpose of why we are doing so, and ultimately they understood. Even those parents who were not present during the orientation, we reached out through phone calls, video chats, and even they were visited at home and comprehensively discussed with them the mechanics of our reading innovation. And I believe they understand, and that might be the reason why they participated with high motivation.
Alright, thank you, sir. So, what then is the takeaway of this innovation, sir? I mean, what can we learn about parental involvement in the teaching and learning process? And what can we do to get the most benefit from it? Sir Ricky?
Thank you, Kadipid Ain. For me personally, as a school head, our works reminds researchers, policymakers, and practitioners that family involvement is important to our children's achievement. Specifically, our work shows that family involvement can promote children's literacy, which is important because we know that there are a series of problems associated with poor literacy skills among our learners. To mention some, learners dropping out from school and juvenile delinquency. Moreover, it demonstrates that family involvement makes a difference over time. So that family involvement is not just important at one period of development, rather it is important throughout the entire developmental continuum. Finally, labor suggests that it is never too late for the family to get involved. We started ours here in BCT Elementary School in grade 2 learners. Rather late if you really think about it. But family involvement is dynamic. Families can change in terms of their involvement. And schools have an important role to play in helping those families become more involved in giving quality education to our children.
That is indeed correct, partner. These parents are more influential than the teachers. We often claim that learners spend more time with their teachers than they do with their parents, but the whole dynamic changed during the pandemic. Suddenly, these learners spend 90% of their time at home, and who better to teach them and influence them than the people who are with them? Thank you so much to our guests this morning, Sir Ricky and Ma'am Riza.
Yes, thank you very much, Kadipid Derek, for featuring BCT Elementary School of District 4. Truly, our aim here is to have our learners able to read with the involvement of our parents.
Wow, so partner, who do we have next?
We are nearing the end of our road trip. Finally, we are halfway through the 10 districts of Malaybalay, 5 of which are being featured in today's episode. Our next featured school partner is a national qualifier of 2021 Secretary Briones Award of Excellence in Curriculum and Instruction, or SAFE CI, as the most learning-focused public junior high school medium schools category. They are also the 2021 Brigada Escuela Best Implementing Schools for Secondary Level Medium Schools category. They are also the DepEd Malaybalay City Icon Awards for Most Outstanding Schools.
But not only that, partner, their teachers are recognized as radio-based instruction voice artists and script writers, modular writer and e-book developers, and even their students are second and third placers in the 3rd National Festival of Talents and Values 2020 Monograph and Values TikTok Challenge respectively, and a national placer in Bureau of Soil Poetry Writing Contest. To give our viewers a glimpse of what they have been busy in the time of pandemic, let us first watch this.
The Malaybalay City National High School, formerly known as BigaTEN National High School, Annex San Jose, continues to thrive amidst the challenges in the landscape of education brought by the COVID-19 global pandemic. At the start of the pandemic, in the school year 2019-2020, there were 745 enrolled students. But at the height of the pandemic, the number of enrollees was decreased. During this school year, The teachers exerted different ways and means to reach out to the students at risk in order to improve their learning performance. The teachers' efforts were all worth it and paid off because this school year 2021 and 2022, the number of enrollees has increased to 756 students, both in junior and senior high school. During the pandemic, these are the challenges that the school faced.
Late in submitting and claiming their modules. Not getting modules. Not answering properly their modules.
To address these challenges and solve the problems, these are the series of interventions and programs that the teachers come up. Focus group discussions such as LAC sessions, HRPTA, and conference with parents. One-on-one face-to-face with students and parents as well. The parents' feedback on why they couldn't access the module are the following.
Wala ni ika-plate eh. Layo manggod among balay. Nagtrabaho manggod ko, ma'am.
The teachers implemented a variety of interventions, including quarterly home visitations, remedial reading, peer mentoring, numeracy class, one-on-one tutorial, outreach, and feeding program. The school worked hard to develop project innovation, maximizing distance learning, learners' participation through bridging learning gap activities, and interventions.
Ako si Mary Joy Cañete, GPTE President sa Malaybalay City National High School, ug ako nagpamatuod nga akong nasaksihan ang pagpaningkamot sa mga magtutudlo aron makakat-on og matabangan ang matag estudyante.
The number of learners at risk of dropping out has decreased as a result of a series of interventions and teachers' effort to reach out those students at risk. This is how the school lives up to its tagline,
Malaybalay City National High School,
Inspiring excellence, building character.
And now, let us welcome on set our guests. First up is one of the most hard-working public schools district supervisor of DepEd Malaybalay City. Influential in his role as the trailblazer of Project Cebual, which we featured last year, and the main brain behind the drive of the division to revitalize schools and forge beyond standards, Dr. Vicente G. San Miguel. Together with him is the most outstanding modular learning modality implementer for the school heads for secondary level category, Ma'am Maitel P. Israel.
All right. Good morning, Doc
Morning.
Vince. Good morning, Ma'am Maitel.
Good morning.
I'd like to move directly to the question addressed to our dear PSDS. Sir, relative to the presentation and Project Cebual that you initiated almost 2 years ago, where does this innovation fall into that the project was trying to enact? Because if I remembered it clearly, Cebual was an acronym that you used to capitalize the objectives that you were trying to jumpstart, sir?
You're actually correct, Ain, about what you clearly remembered about Project Cebual. Now, going back to query and sort of giving a review what Project Cebual is all about, sets forth the objective that we enacted govern all efforts in the years to come. So basically, the innovation of Malaybalay City National High School falls under the objective of advancing the learner's development and boosting the learner's knowledge, along with the goal of course, nurturing the child's whole person. That involves the minds, the hearts, and of course the hands. If you take a closer look on the school's innovation, it is not a one-time activity. Rather, it is actually a series of activities done to ensure that development in the mind, body, and whole person is achieved their intended goals. Simply summarize, we are trying to develop the child holistically through multifaceted approaches known as maximizing distance learning participation through bridging learning gaps.
All right, thank you so much, Servine. So, speaking of holistic development, I want to ask Ma'am Maitel Israel, for our viewers, ma'am, can you give us an overview of holistic development and the reason behind bridging learning gaps? Ma'am?
Okay, good morning, Derek and Ain.
Good morning.
Holistic development is a comprehensive approach in learning which aims to develop multiple facets or abilities of the learners. Conventional educational and learning systems aim at the development of intellectual capabilities only, but holistic growth aims at the development of physical capabilities, intellectual abilities, cognitive or mental abilities, emotional abilities, and social skills. Why? Because we want to prepare our learners for what is to happen later in their lives, especially when they go into preparing themselves in the workplace. Nowadays, most companies or organizations not only consider a student's overall academic performance, but also consider the holistic development of students. What children require today in schools is not just academic lessons, but schooling system that helps a child understand his or herself, emotions, and mental duress while teaching him or her how to build up healthy and functional relationships as well as develop resilience and team spirit is the true form of education.
All right. So, follow-up question to Ma'am Maitel. Looking into the details of the ones that you have mentioned, ma'am, it is slowly becoming apparent that bridging learning gaps is a set of programs implemented to holistically develop the learner. So, ma'am, with this, may we know what activities are implemented under the innovation?
Okay, Ain, you are correct. These are the activities implemented under the program. One is the quarterly bridging learning activities through home visitation, reading, and tutorial to learners who are at risk of dropping out or the LARDOS. Second, one-on-one or face-to-face teacher-to-parent tutorial and giving instructions in answering the learner activity sheets or the LAS. Third is the Brigada Pagbasa reading intervention aimed at improving reading comprehension. Fourth, numeracy tutorial through Project Kumun or knowledge understanding mathematics in unsolved questions and feeding and the community outreach.
Wow, you really have thought of every single detail to make this innovation work. Good job, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your best practices with us, and we hope to be hearing more from DepEd Malaybalay in the near future. So, well, I guess, partner, my takeaway on this hosting of DepEd Malaybalay is that first, reading is an integral aspect of the child's development, and it should be the foremost proficiency to master because once you have it mastered, everything will fall into place. Secondly, never underestimate the power of parental involvement in the child's learning. We may claim that the teachers are the learner's second parents, but we also need to remember that the parents are the learner's first teachers. How about you, Ain?
Well, for me, partner, it is that we should maximize our resources through the help of the community, engage our stakeholders because they are the school silent heroes in the time of pandemic. And last but not the least, it is that we need to develop our learners holistically for them to be prepared in their future endeavors.
Ayan, partner, nakalima na tayo.
Partner, finally, we were able to view two more schools of Malaybalay City Division, the BigaTEN Elementary School and the Malaybalay City National High School. Partner,
Ano yung feature nila doon sa BCT?
for BigaTEN, it was highlighted by them the involvement of parents in the literacy of their children, which I also agree very much with them. No, we really have to involve families in educating our children. So ika nga, it takes a whole village to educate a child.
Which is very critical, partner, kasi di ba distance learning, no, yung very critical yung role ng parents talaga as teachers doon sa bahay.
Yes, and with Malaybalay City National High School, nakita mo yung video kanina, they had to go to places, no? Talagang they had to walk and visit learners, especially those who are at risk of failing. So, congratulations, job well done. No?
Kumbaga, reaching the unreached or seemingly unreachable.
Correct.
Oo.
And you're really providing education. It's now bringing education to homes and involving the entire community, parents, and of course, the LGU, no, for that matter. So, congratulations.
Yeah. Kitang-kita natin dito, partner, no, sa limang na-feature na mga schools, it's no wonder kung bakit sila panalong-panalo, no? National champion at saka national qualifiers sa Safe Sea. Ay, kasi kitang-kita naman ang ebidensya eh.
So, they have just shown their MOVs, their videos, and the interviews of the school leaders and the PSDSS of Malaybalay districts. So, congratulations. So, that's it. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have just witnessed the best innovations from the first 5 districts of DepEd Malaybalay. And I will have to say, partner, they are definitely on track in addressing the needs of their learners.
Yeah, that's right, partner. And what is noticeable and worth commending is the involvement of the schools, various stakeholders from the parents, the local government, and of course, the community. Definitely hats off to DepEd Malaybalay City for a job well done.
Yes, partner. At bago natin tapusin ang bahaging ito ng ating programa, panoorin at pakinggan po natin ang mensahe ni Schools Division Superintendent Victoria Bigazo kasama ang ASTS Aliena S. Dahay.
Indeed, I do, Ka-DepEd Paulo and Ka-DepEd Rada. I just would like to extend my profound gratitude to DepEd Region 10, headed by our Regional Director Arturo B. Bayocot, and Assistant Regional Director Victor De Gracia, and of course, to both of you for having us today and allowing us to freely share the most significant and impactful flagship programs of the first 5 districts of our division. Likewise, to the DepEd Malaybalay City team, headed by Sir Ralph Quirog of the Curriculum Implementation Division, Sir Lorenzo Capacio of the Schools Governance and Operations Division, and Sir Manuel Dunlayan, the second, our Administrative Officer 5, for contributing so much to the successes of DepEd Malaybalay. In behalf of Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Aliena S. Dahay, will say, we will always respond to the call for excellence as one division, one heart, and one soul. Because we fly high in Malaybalay. God bless everyone.
Ayan, Ka-DepEd Vic. Dinig natin yung suporta ng staff nila, no? There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That completes our Anong Meron Ngayon segment, excellently co-hosted by John Derek L. Bingat and Ain Karil R. Valde. Once again, thank you and congratulations to our guest division, the division of Malaybalay City, the home of the icons, and the stable of the stallions headed by the multi-awarded SDS Victoria V. Gazo, and
And ASDS Aliena Estahay.
yan, hanggang sa muli po at mabuhay po kayo.
Educating young minds for a better tomorrow. Good morning. This is Jason Escares, and you are watching MES News TV. For the headlines, challenges arise during the limited face-to-face classes. Mapulo ES administered Bella successfully. Last April 4, 2022, Mapolo Elementary School started the limited face-to-face classes. Let us have our MES correspondent, Ashley Nicole Cejas, for the full report.
During the implementation of the limited face-to-face classes, teachers and learners have encountered different challenges. Some of these are lack of classroom facilities to cater all grade level. Pupils are still adjusting to the sudden shift of the new learning setup.
For us teachers here in Mapolo Elementary School, one of the challenges we have encountered is the lack of classroom building. Currently, we only have 4 classrooms. So the other grade levels are utilizing the multipurpose hall and the daycare center.
Pag-anhin ako sa eskwelahan, nabagkuhan ko kay naanad ko magmudyo sa balay. Pero karon nalipay ko kay nakatuon ko kauban ako mga classmate.
Mapulo Elementary School successfully administered the Basic Education Learning Assessment for Grade 3 and Grade 6 pupils. Ashley Nicole Cejas has the news.
The administration of Bella was conducted on April 20, 2022, with 25% of total population of grade 3 and grade 6 learners. There were 4 pupil participants to each grade level. The conduct of Bella is intended to, first, determine if learners are meeting the learning standards. Second, help provide information to improve instructional practices. Third, assess or evaluate effectiveness and efficiency of education service delivery. Fourth, use learning outcomes as indicators. Fifth, provide empirical information as basis for curriculum, learning assessment, and policy review and policy formulation. This is Ashley Nicole T. Cejas reporting for MES News TV. Back to studio.
This is Jason Ascares, your voice towards truth and integrity, here in MES News TV.
Bukidnon National High School News.
Despite 2 years without school paper contest, Bukidnon National High School's The Expedition delivers top 3 places in 5 events during the Division School Paper Contest announced on April 12, 2022. The Expedition won first place in Science and Technology section, second place in News and Feature sections, third place in Editorial and Sports section, and sixth place in Layouting. The division-level school paper contest was participated by 21 school publications throughout Malaybalay City, over 6 which are competing for English secondary category. Certificate of recognition will be awarded to the top 3 winners of each event. Sofia Rubilios, Wide Awake, Global News Alert.
After 2 years of the challenging distance learning, Bukidnon National High School and students joins the implementation of pilot limited face-to-face classes. It is an achievement for the school as well as the city, as it is now an alert level 1, which allows face-to-face classes to happen, a stark difference to the usual alert level 3. The school's staff warmly welcomed the students from all grade levels who agreed to join the pilot classes and gave great importance to following the safety and health protocols. An entrance and exit plan to the school was properly laid out with personnel disinfecting the students in the entrance gate. Students are to also bring their own alcohols, face masks, and follow social distancing to ensure the safety of everyone. Regular disinfection of room and chairs are performed before and after a class enters and exits the classroom. Health evaluation forms are also distributed to assess health condition of learners before proceeding with the class to prevent possible entry of any learner exhibiting COVID-related symptoms. To prepare for the pilot implementation of classes, the school discussed the implementation of more health protocols that should be strictly practiced and observed, arrange schedules to cater the possible maximum amount of learners willing to attend, classroom preparation, setups, facilities, lesson preparations, etc. The limited face-to-face classes are expected to last until the end of the semester. Carl Dadulo, Wide Awake, Global News Alert.
Ayan po mga ka-DepEd, maraming salamat kay Jason D. Ascaraz, School Information Coordinator from Mapulo Elementary School, and Student News Correspondent Sofia Robilios and Carl Dadulo, all from the Division of Malaybalay City, for the DepEd News 10 Update.
Ayan, eto partner, meron tayong bagong segment ha. Ito yung Batang BigaTEN, which actually highlights students for their academic, curricular, and extracurricular achievements. Kasama na dyan yung kanilang mga noble deeds and inspiring stories at marami pang iba.
So we are featuring that.
Yeah, through the news features of student journalists themselves. Kaya mga ka-DepEd, panoorin at pakinggan natin ang kwento na hatid sa atin ni SSG President John Paul Bongcayao mula sa sangay ng lungsod El Salvador.
Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. Good day to all kabigaten. The pandemic is a historical crisis that affected millions of lives. Despite this predicament, people proved resilience of the crisis. Learners had been challenged due to this phenomenon. Several learners had difficulty in coping with the rapid and abrupt change, but a learners from Hinigdaan National High School proved to remain focused on his duty and goals. He is Adrian B. Erestinco. He bagged the award as Outstanding Child of Northern Mindanao during the search for Outstanding Pantawid Pamilya Child 2020, last November 2020. Adrian is a child that always sees good things despite how grumpy the situation is. He is a dependable child. Every time a task is given to him, he accomplishes it, even before the given due date. He is also a family-oriented child who responsibly performs his home chores, respect elders, and obey his parents. Adrian is a child that serves as an inspiration to his fellow learners. Optimistic, responsible, smart, traits that inspires everyone.
The best way to predict your future is to create it. This is Adrian B. Erestinco, a student from Hinigdaan National High School of the Division of El Salvador City. Your Batang BigaTEN.
This has been John Paul Bongcayao of Hinigdaan National High School. May we have the roots to grow and wings to fly. Lupad, Hinigdaan.
Thank you, Adrian. You are indeed a Batang BigaTEN.
Marami pa yan sa
Yeah,
susunod.
there's more. Thank you to SSG President John Paul Bongcayao from the Division of El Salvador City for the Batang BigaTEN story.
Eto po mga ka-DepEd, para sa ating big attention, big attendance, please check on these regional issuances. We have Regional Memorandum 297 on the conduct of the series of activities related to the implementation of induction program for beginning teachers. Actually, yun yung inattend ko kanina, partner.
You were multitasking.
Yeah, multitasking for school year 2021-2022. At saka yung sa susunod naman na mga activities, ayan, June 14, September 27, at November 22 para sa ating mga induction program for beginning teachers, focal persons sa ating mga divisions. Meron din tayo, Regional Memorandum 298, call for submission of stories and testimonials for the Child Protection Unit or CPU Journal, hashtag kasama ka talaraawan. Talaarawan, yan. Deadline, May 30. So we are requesting the assistance of our journalism coordinators at saka yung ating mga ICT officers at syempre yung mga division information officers natin. At saka we have Regional Advisory 104 on the International Training for Teachers, Innovative Approaches on Teaching Science, Mathematics, and English for a better new normal with a paper presentation and demo teaching on June 28 to 30, August 26 to 28, and November 25 to 27. Paalaala lamang po, ito po ay voluntary basis. Ano voluntary basis? Yung participation nila. Partner.
Yes, and so with Regional Advisory 105, Series 2022, on the International Feminist Journal of Politics, or International Conference at Seoul, South Korea, partner, July 21 to 23.
Yeah.
We also have Regional Memorandum 301, The Light of Hope, Music for Hope Virtual Concert on May 25 via DepEd Philippines, DepEd Tayo Youth Formation, and NGF Facebook pages, NGF YouTube channel, and Zoom platform, as well as the Regional Memorandum 304, participants in the National Trainers on Advancement of Basic Education ABC Plus Instructional Leadership Training Upscaling Program.
Ayan po mga ka-DepEd, nagdaan na naman ang 2 oras ng ating pagbibigay impormasyon at balita tungkol sa ating mga gawain, inisyatiba at inobasyon dito sa kagawanan ng Edukasyon Region 10. Partner Vic, maraming salamat. Sana hindi ka magsasawa. Ha?
Thank you for having me.
At sa next week, ikaw pa rin. Oo.
Thank you. That's an opportunity.
Basta ha. At kung ako naman ang may gawain, ikaw naman ang hahalili sa akin. Kayo na naman ni partner Rada, di ba? Anyway, we say thank you to the following for making every episode of BigaTEN DepEd possible. Siyempre, partner, pasalamat natin ang ating napaka-aktibo at napakagaling na Regional Director, Dr. Arturo B. Bayocot, CESO 3, Assistant Regional Director, Dr. Victor G. De Gracia Jr., CESO 5, at siyempre ang ating guest division for today, the division of Malaybalay City, the home of the icons and the stable of the stallions, headed by SDS Victoria V. Gazo and ASDS Aliana S. Dahay. At syempre, yung ating co-hosts from the division, sina John Derek L. Bingat and Ain Carril. Ayan. Valde, yes. At syempre, yung aking counterpart na Division Information Officer, si Sir Rio R. Arbotante. Maraming salamat. Ating School Information Coordinator na si Jason D. Ascares from Apulo Elementary School for the DepEd News 10 update. At saka yung ating mga student journalists or news correspondents na sina Sofia Robilos and Carl Dadulo for today's episode titled Responding to the Call for Excellence.
Yes, and of course, to our very own BigaTEN DepEd Creative Force, ka-DepEd Rada, ka-DepEd Paulo, Carlos Villamas III.
And ka-DepEd Vic.
Yes. And of course, we have Sir Ralph L. Mabulay, Fatima E. Villaremo, and Clifford B. Nippon High.
At syempre, we are always grateful to the support of the staff from the Office of the Regional Director, si Ma'am Juvie Estrella, Ma'am Annabel Baculio, at syempre palagi partner, pinasasalamatan natin si Sir Elson Hamero at ang kanyang team, Kambigin, for the BigaTEN DepEd 10 jingle. And as usual, si Sir Nick Paniares, who has always been very supportive and patient partner for his generosity in helping us facilitate our account for the use of the StreamYard platform.
Very good. Thank you very much for that. Our DepEd Regional Office 10 family, we also are thanking you. The 14 division offices, schools division offices, all the DepEd 10 schools, the stakeholders, lahat po ng ating mga ka-DepEd at lahat ng mga manonood at nanonood sa atin ngayon. Of course, Paulo, our learners, the heart of DepEd 10. Marami pong salamat.
Ayan, thank you all mga ka-DepEd. Kita-kits sa sunod simana, kauban ang Division of Bukidnon para sa lain na usab nga edisyon sa BigaTEN DepEd 10. Let's remember, let's make BigaTEN DepEd 10 our Tuesday habit. Alright? Tandaan niyo yan. Ug din hinatapos ang atong ika-49 nga edisyon sa BigaTEN DepEd 10 Season 3. Ako si Ramon Gonzalez Abrera, aka ka-DepEd Paulo, ang inyong Public Affairs Unit Lead Officer. Taliwala sa mga pagsulay, ang among pag-alagad, kanunay.
Kung makiusap si Maribik Hilaritan, sa ngalan ni Candice Rakuman, ang ating abogada, ragista, aka ka-DepEd Rada, usap na kaingon sa DepEd Amihan ng Mindanao, nagkahiusang pag-alagay ng pag-ibig. Sa gihapon, kami ang inyong kauban.
Kasaligan.
Kaplangan.
Siyempre, ka-DepEd. Hangtod sa sunod higayon, kini ang BigaTEN DepEd 10. Atin to.
Amihan akong Mindanao, pangkahiusan at pagbabaw. BigaTEN DepEd 10, pagpatay sa edukasyon, makulit muna makalimon. BigaTEN DepEd 10, DepEd Northern Mindanao, for the learners and the now, we're always here to serve you no matter how.